Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on the 2-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because this inverse head and shoulders pattern that I talked about in yesterday's video actually got invalidated because we got candle closes below the point of the breakout. And actually, since invalidating, we got about a 4% move to the downside. Now, the reason I'm starting this video off with this is because I think it can be instructive, because as soon as we actually invalidated this potentially bullish pattern, I opened a short position on Bitcoin with 50x leverage, which led to a close to 200% profit on that trade. Because typically when we invalidate bullish patterns like this, we tend to get a bit of downside after that as well. So I actually ended up trading the reversal instead of the actual breakout. Either way, let's move on to the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. Currently, we're still trading between these two trend lines right here. So we have resistance to the upside that we just got rejected from, currently at about 82.7K in the Bitcoin price. And we have some support to the downside, currently sitting at around 78.1K. Besides that, if I just take a look at the broader context that we are currently in, we are still technically breaking down from this symmetrical triangle pattern. So technically speaking, the price target is still 69,000, so long as we are below the point of the breakout, which is sitting at 85.5K. So if you want to get that big bullish reversal signal, at the very least, you want to see us close candles above this 85.5K level, because at that point, this bearish breakout pattern is no longer active, because at that point it is actually invalidated, meaning that we need to cross off this 69K price target. So for now, we are seeing this bullish divergence in the charts. So a bullish divergence is when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. Typically, this points towards us getting a break from all of this bearish price action that we have been seeing here recently. So either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum on that 4-hour time frame. And since confirming this bullish divergence, we saw about a 7.5% move to the upside. So let's see how this continues to play out. Are we actually going to see that choppy sideways price action here? Or are we actually going to invalidate this bullish divergence by trading, for example, below this descending trend line in the price? Or if we actually trade below this ascending trend line in the RSI momentum indicator. So for now, that remains to be seen. And again, so long as we're not invalidating this, my base case outlook is that we are just going to get either some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum on the 4-hour time frame, just like I said when we were trading right here. Next, moving on to the daily time frame for Bitcoin, because here we also have a confirmed bullish divergence. Although, as you can see in today's candle, currently we have a big red candle here. Of course, we do have about 6 hours left before we get this daily candle close. Although one thing you should be aware of is that, yes, of course, we do have this bullish divergence here. And you can look at this situation very simply right now, actually, because we are trading below this descending trend line in the RSI, but we're also trading above this ascending trend line in the RSI as well. But either way, one thing you could be using with this RSI is, for example, if we start breaking down below this ascending trend line here, we would be invalidating that bullish divergence, and therefore we should be open to the possibility of more downside for Bitcoin once again, until we potentially form another bullish divergence here somewhere further down the road. On this high time frame, once again, just like I have been saying every single day here, guys, I am not high time frame bullish on Bitcoin so long as we are trading below this descending trend line on the 1-day time frame. If we, for example, now break above this level of resistance, which currently is sitting at about 92.2K, then you will see me flip like turbo bullish on Bitcoin once again, okay? But until then, guys, we are simply trading below this trend line, so I cannot be bullish on the 1-day time frame. However, we are potentially starting to see some reversal signals in the short term. Okay, so same as this 4-hour time frame, this was a short-term reversal signal. But if we look at the present day situation, we have not yet invalidated this bearish pattern and we are now seeing a rejection from this level of resistance that I warned about yesterday. Therefore, this is a good time to be a little bit cautious in the market, because we are seeing some conflicted signals where on the one hand we're getting some bullish signals in the short term, but at the same time on the higher time frames we do still have some bearish signals as well. So for now, this just appears to be chopping sideways until either this bullish divergence is invalidated or this bearish breakout is invalidated. Next, moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on the 3-day time frame, notice how we just took out a big pocket of liquidity sitting at around 80.2K in the Bitcoin price, where the next big pocket of short-term liquidity is going to be at 78.6K. However, we do also have a bunch of short-term liquidity to the upside, sitting at around 84.6K. Now, on this 2-week time frame, there is also a bunch of liquidity to the upside, sitting at, for example, around 85K, 91K, 95K. And yes, of course, there is also a bunch of liquidity at 73K. I saw a comment about this yesterday, but like at the same time, literally, guys, I'm repeating the same things every day because the situation hasn't changed yet. So, like for example, 5 out of 7 days, I will talk about the 1-year time frame on the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. Yesterday wasn't one of those days, and I immediately get called out for it. It is what it is. You guys that watch the videos every day will just be the most up to date. But of course, I cannot be covering every single possible thing that is happening in the crypto markets every single day, guys. So hopefully you understand that, yeah, you cannot expect me to do this. Either way, yes, there is a bunch of liquidity around this 75K level. For example, we have about $14 billion worth of long positions that would get liquidated if the Bitcoin price reaches this level. However, there is also a bunch of liquidity to the upside sitting around this 100K level, where we have close to $30 billion worth of short positions that would get taken out if the Bitcoin price reaches this level. For now, this 100K level of liquidity is not that relevant because we are in a downtrend here, for example, on this 4-hour time frame, but more importantly, on this 1-day time frame here as well. And therefore, once we start breaking above this descending trend line, then we will very likely be taking out this 100K level of liquidity. But for now, we are actually still in the downtrend, like I said. So right now we are slowly creeping towards this 75K level until we actually see those reversal signals. We see those bearish patterns being invalidated. We see, for example, us breaking that descending line of resistance, because until then, technically, we are still just targeting 69K in the Bitcoin price. Lastly, let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday, we actually saw a net inflow of about $13 million, so a relatively small inflow. However, we did not see a massive outflow like we saw the days before that. So at least a slight improvement here from the Bitcoin ETFs, but for now, not too much really has changed. We aren't seeing massive inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs. And for now, over the last week or so, the Bitcoin ETFs have been having a downwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.